Okay, so final wrap up video. Um, First of all, it feels really good to finally be finished with this project. Feels like we've been working on these projects forever. Um, but to finally be able to say that I'm done and I've turned in this video game trailer is a great feeling. Um, I'm very proud of how it came out. I'm very happy with the result, especially because I've never done anything like this to this degree before. Um, so, to talk a little bit about the video editing process, like obviously the first part was finding the clips that I wanted to use. Last time for our last meeting with the 491 students, I mentioned that I got the clips that I used from a website called Storyblocks. It was a $60 month subscription that I got access to all of these clips from. There were short clips to start off with, but it didn't matter for this project because I needed short clips for this video game trailer anyways. So it worked out perfectly, and it was the cheaper option to the Adobe, so I went with this one. Um, I obviously came up with the concept last semester that I wanted to do an apocalypse theme, but I hadn't really thought about how I wanted the apocalypse to start because I felt like that was like a pivotal part of the trailer. Like it was very important and it helped me figure out how I wanted to start the trailer. Um, so that's how it went from being a horror video game trailer to a horror fantasy video game trailer because I decided to mash my two favorite genres. So that is how I came up with the idea for the evil warlock starting, saying a curse and starting the apocalypse. Basically, my mindset was like any and every kind of monster you can think of. Obviously, if this were a real video game, not all of the monsters would be shown in the trailer. Um, but just any and all monsters have like come to Earth, and it's just mass destruction. And it's up to this special task force to stop the apocalypse. And so once I figured out how I wanted to start off the trailer, that definitely did help a lot. Because how I was starting off the trailer before I had the idea for the warlock, I wasn't the fondest of it. So coming up with that part definitely helped. And I said in my pitch to the MEA faculty that I was drawing a lot of inspiration from, like if you know anything about me, if anyone ever knows anything about me, aside from being a Nicki Minaj fan, there's a couple things you know about me. There's that, and that I'm a massive horror fantasy fan. I was drawing a lot of inspiration from that. Um, the opening scene with the warlock, that like demonic voice chant in Latin, was very inspired by Evil Dead Rise, a movie that came out this year. Um, just the overall like witchy warlock theme came from my favorite show, which is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix. So there was a lot of that. Um, Editing the video itself was more challenging than I thought in the beginning. Um, Even with my inspiration and all the ideas, just like figuring out how I wanted to place all of the clips together, how I wanted it to be formatted, how I wanted the story to progress. I definitely had to, after talking with Chef, I definitely decided to simplify it more because I had originally sought out to do all of these crazy editing techniques with like crazy like professional um, like transitions and stuff, and that just was not going to happen. I'm not a video editor, so I definitely am very glad that I decided to keep it on the simpler side. But I did decide to like push the envelope a little bit and not just do like simple video editing. I did use green screen work, like the monster in the TV. The monster was a green screen. I removed the green screen and put it in the TV and all that stuff. The gun and like the bullets and the target with the zombie on one of the last clips of the trailer was also green screen. So I did work with that. And I'm happy with how the video itself came out. Now the sound design, obviously my favorite part. Sound designing the monsters was challenging, especially at first, like because they aren't naturally occurring things. Like you have to think about how they would sound. Like it's up to your interpretation as to how they would sound. So like coming up with the sound design for each individual monster, making them sound different, making, like this sounds like it would come out of this monster was kind of challenging. For the giant spider, I work with a ton of different like creatures, and like I was working with like bird sounds, like eagle sounds and stuff at one point. Like at one point I was trying to go for like a unsettling version of like a Minecraft spider. That didn't work. I think one of the sound effects, I ended up layering a bunch of sound effects. I think one of them was like a 16-week-old baby panther crying. And obviously, like through layering and different effects and stuff, I just wanted it to have like this unsettling screech. And I think I achieved that with like the skull monster in the next clip. It was like different lions or like a tiger and like wolf like growls all edited and layered together. But my favorite part about the sound design was definitely layering different things. I really liked editing the TV in the woods scene. I layered with the music that I had. I layered a riser with one part, as well as a heartbeat sound with the TV static as well. I even used a like creepy horror piano underscore that I made a couple of years back that I thought fit well with this. So that part was fun. As far as the ADR and like the voiceover parts that I did, I voiced one of the characters. I voiced like the Agent Smith in the woods when he was like walking around and he had the mask on. So it was my voice pitched down with like an effect to make it sound like he was not only talking through a mask but talking through like a walkie-talkie type of situation with his sergeant. And I did that a couple of times with different characters. But the rest of the characters were obviously just AI. So I think that part turned out well for it being AI. But like it was part of the challenge to challenge myself to like be completely independent with this project, like do as much as I could by myself, so I could say I did everything. And for that, like, I'm really happy with the result. As far as like any syncing issues that I had, I think the biggest syncing issues I had was with the voiceover. I did edit the clips a little bit, but obviously I can't change how they move their mouth. So I got it to a point where I liked it. And with it being a video game trailer, video game graphics and all that, and now like a professional movie trailer, I felt like it was fine. As far as syncing, like how I got other things in sync, like I edited all of the monster sounds individually because I knew it would take a lot of power, like processing power and stuff. So I would like trim the clip for that monster, save that video, and I would edit it in a different Pro Tools session, edit it all together, save the sound file, and then put it into the original Pro Tools session so that it was lined up where I needed it to be. So doing it that way, there was probably an easier way to do it, but doing it that way for me helped. Um, but otherwise, I didn't really have too many sync issues. I didn't run into too many issues. Um, Overall, didn't run into too many issues. But overall, like, I'm very happy with how it turned out. I enjoyed working on this project. I'm glad that I got creative liberty over the project. Those are my favorite types of projects to do. So, like, that was even more encouraging to work on it. It was encouraging getting good feedback. So definitely, like, the check-ins with both Chef and the 491, and like having that show and tell, and getting good feedback definitely helped. Um, and on my own time, I shared it with, a few people, and getting good feedback from them was very helpful. So, yeah, overall, like, I'm very glad with how my project turned out. All having seen everyone else's projects, like, I'm very happy that we all were able to produce. I know it was very stressful, but everyone did a great job, and I'm just very pleased that we were able to all pump out great projects. So, yeah.